What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars. You know, working in radio, I got to interview a lot of cool people. I've got to meet a lot of cool people through some of the people I've interviewed. Dusty Hill from ZZ Top passed away this past week, and it got me thinking about a really funny story that was told to me by the guys at SoCal Speed Shop. We were actually in Las Vegas, and we were eating at the Pepper Mill in Vegas. It's actually where they filmed Casino. Part of that, the scene with, was it Michelle Pfeiffer and Robert De Niro around the little fire thing. That's the Pepper Mill restaurant in Vegas. It's like a fancy Waffle House, open 24/7, got the best breakfast ever. We were all at Pepper Mill, long day, walking around seeing. I was hanging out with the guys from SoCal Speed Shop, and you got to think SoCal is a very iconic speed shop and arguably the oldest speed shop in the world. There was hot rodding got really popular after World War II. SoCal started in 1948. Some people say Honest Charlie started in 1946, but one of the oldest speed shops around, still open to this day, and built some of the most iconic early Fords ever out of that shop. You can talk about those cars for days. I'm a big 32 Ford. I'm a Deuce fan from way back, and I love those cars, had them. And so naturally, SoCal Speed Shop is your go-to place for anything cool for a 32 Ford. So anyway, we're sitting here talking to these guys, and we got talking about Billy Gibbons and the boys from ZZ Top. And Billy is very big in the automotive stuff, and all the guys from ZZ Top are, but Billy's, just that guy. He's in the automotive world. He's at SEMA walking around and whatnot. And they were talking about Billy that day and walking around SEMA. Now, I didn't get to hang out with him, but I got to hang out, like I said, with the guys from SoCal Speed Shop for dinner afterwards. And we were talking, and he said, it's crazy, but Henry Ford saved ZZ Top. Henry Ford died in 1948. How in the hell did Henry Ford save ZZ Top? Keep in mind, I was born in 1979, so it's a little before my time, or at least, well, it wasn't before my time, but I wasn't remembering it. You gotta think, ZZ Top's had a very long career. They're actually the longest running band with all the original members. And I mean, you gotta think all through the 70s, they were just kicking out albums. And in 1981, they were starting to get burnt out, and they released an album called El Loco. It really didn't hit on much. Boys are burnt out, it's time to take a break. I mean, they released literally 10 albums in 10 years. And it was taking a toll on the band and everybody, and they were getting burnt out. And Billy seen this. They made some good money. They've had some good success, but they were burnt out. It's time to take a little break. So Billy buys this 1933 Ford three-window coupe. And keep in mind, this is 1980, 81 when he bought it. And he decided he wanted to build a badass hot rod. And he wanted his buddies, the guys in the band, to help him with it. Now, naturally, they're not car builders, so there's things they can't do. They hired SoCal Speed Shop, and they'd come down and they put their hands in it. They actually helped. They designed what they wanted to look like. And they really had some skin in the game building this car. It wasn't just flipping the bill for it. It took about a year and a half to build it. And they built this badass 33 Ford, and later to be known as Eliminator. I remember that car, and even into the 90s, that was still just a gorgeous car. And to this day, in 2021, a car that was technically built late 82, early 83, that was a game-changing hot rod. Super slick, monochromatic, just a killer car. And in March of 1983, they released Eliminator, which is hands down the best-selling ZZ Top album of all time. Virtually every ZZ Top song that you love came on Eliminator. And you got to think about it. This is a band that was burnt out. And I got cold chills telling this. It's crazy. But this is a band that was burnt out. That was literally ready to hang it up. Try something else. They built this car and totally changed the direction they were going because of this car. And they built this badass hot rod. And you even notice the music changes. You know, I mean, it's still ZZ Top style, but like, you know, they changed kind of the direction they were going in the early 80s, late 70s to Eliminators, totally, not totally, but very different. And just took off. And what was on the cover of Eliminator? The Eliminator, that 1933 Ford they built. And what was in virtually every music video in Eliminator? That 33 Ford they built. And you got to think about that car. That's probably one of the most iconic music video cars of all time. I mean, it's probably been, what, 5, maybe 6 videos, you know. They did 83, so they did Eliminator. In 85, Travis Bell's gonna call me out on this if I mess up. In 85, probably one of my second favorite albums and probably one of my all-time favorite ZZ Top songs was Afterburner and Rough Boy. And me and Travis both agree on that. This is just the DJ in us coming out. But that's a killer song. And of course, what's featured on that? But a modern spaceship version of the Eliminator on the front of it. And of course, that was in the video too. It was a wild video for the time. But if you think about it, what if they never bought that car? What if they did like every other rock star and got a Lamborghini? Or if they got a, you know, just said hell with it, you know, and decided to go their own separate ways. So I guess technically you could say Henry Ford helped save ZZ Top. And I'll be honest with you, made probably the best damn rock album of all time, in my opinion. Guys, we'll catch you next time at Rabbit's Used Cars. Perfect.